When four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers tore his left Achilles tendon after only 4 snaps as a quarterback for the New York Jets, he blamed the incident on artificial turf. Almost immediately, the NFL Players Association called on the league to switch all fields to grass. The union has wanted all grass fields for years, saying there's been a significant increase in non-contact injuries on artificial versus grass. Well, the NFL maintains the numbers are not that different. They are close. Here in Maine and in most northern states, the move to artificial surface has been happening for quite a long time, and the reason is quite simple. The University of Maine, a number of high schools use turf grass, and with good reason. With the kind of weather we get, teams can play early in the spring and right through the fall. You know, once you lose a grass field to the weather, it's impossible to get it back before the next season. There are points to be made on both sides of the issue. Artificial turf is unforgiving. It can lead to higher incidence of abrasions, burns, sprains. In the case of Rodgers, though, if you look at the video, it was a rather routine tackle followed by an awkward twist. It could have happened on natural grass also. There are some studies that show the rate of torn ACL injuries are greater on turf. There are studies that show a higher percentage of knee and ankle incidents on the artificial turf compared to natural grass. Well, athletes can't decide on what type of surface they play on, so it's vital that the players themselves do exercises that strengthen the knee. You know, on a very hot day, temperatures are higher than when the game is played on grass. Friction burns do occur. Participants can tell you that the turf fields offer consistent playing conditions, but they get friction burns and many other things. There's less maintenance than the real stuff. Okay, games can be played despite the weather, and the outcomes are rarely changed. Ultimately, the debate over football injuries will continue because it is so complex an issue. If the NFL players win their argument, moving all fields to natural grass will take a lot of time and a lot of money. You know, when the World Cup soccer is coming to North America, all 11 U.S. venues will be in NFL stadiums. The host stadiums at this point have a mix of venues, including grass and artificial. Now, maybe the technology will change that argument. I don't know. Lambeau Field, the home of the Green Bay Packers, has both AstroTurf and Kentucky bluegrass, which is weaved into the rug. It's highly unlikely the fields will be torn out. It has happened, though, in a few cities. I know some southern schools that return to natural for baseball. Well, personally, I like sports played in the sunshine on real grass in the afternoon. But December, January, and winter come along every year, just like clockwork. And believe me, that's not going to change. This is George Hale with my perspective on sports.